for the poor. They want to build shops, stores for the poor so that they will stop selling market on the roadside. Then they will use the government's money to buy it, to build that. Then they will now allocate it to themselves and said that some people have bought the place. You where they sell Worobo, you approach them and say, I used to sell here before you build the shop here. They said they are building the shops for all of us. Mama, we are building them for you now. 15 million naira. 15 million. My son, I don't get 50. That's why I've been selling on the roadside. Government said they are building it for us. Then they will bring a car or last mile anybody to beat everybody and chase them away. So even when they build something, they want to own them. They want to put their names on them. Sure you get. So people who are really creating wealth are being frustrated by the criminals who are not. So if you're outside Nigeria and you are wondering why some people are just looking for whatever they can to just get out of that place, many of them are leaving not because they are among those who are struggling or suffering and all of that. The terrorists who have taken over Nigeria, criminals and all of them, they will deal with everybody from the east to the west, from the west to the north, from the north to the middle belt, from Christians to Muslims. I keep reminding you all of that. But it seems that I've not really been succeeding in making you realize that every time you probably want to grandstand on, I'm Igbo, I'm Yoruba, I'm this or that, when we are talking about the gang of criminals that are, strategically positioned in different corners of Nigeria, doing what they know how to do best, just to be the weapon fashioned against you. So when you then have to deal with them, you don't use your privilege to begin to preach in defense of them. You don't need to start telling us that we are the ones who are creating a bad image for Nigeria. You can tell the people who are actually creating the real bad image. The image where when they say how many people are in the UK, they will mention Nigeria. All over the world, they will mention Nigerians and the people who created that. You cannot then use your own comfort wherever you are to continue to defend them in the name of I love my country. No, you don't. You don't. But until you realize that you don't love Nigeria, if what is going on right now in any way doesn't move you or kind of, whether you believe it or whether you accept it or you don't, the reality is gradually settling in. So I have been thinking of how I'm going to persuade Agbeke, Ogbeni, you better begin to learn how to live in another climate. Because because you cannot tell me now that I should go back to Dogbolu after all my own investment because they can do it. They can wake up tomorrow and tell me to pack my bag. They will even respect me to pack. They will say, we want you to pack your bags before the 1st of January. That means they will give me time out of respect. But I'm thinking that, okay, because you know what? Let us be honest with ourselves. I have children here. I have children. There's nothing that, Baba, why are you talking like this? That the UK law says, they respect their children. They don't joke with children. Sure you get. Baba, they go tell you, say, may you they go. You will know, say they know they joke with children. You that know that they can take the children from you anytime. Simply because they say you get temper tantrum. You understand? This is a country where they can wake up tomorrow and say, oh yeah, pack your bag and leave. And now you go come they ask yourself, how is that possible? My friend, do you understand what I'm saying? And the person where you they talk to go say, I understand. How is this even possible? I am a proud father of British citizens. And I say, I'm also wondering too myself, how is this possible? What has the world turned to? So I am saying it now. So you know that I used to say, by the way, if anybody, I think I've said it on this platform before, right? That if they tell me say make I leave the UK, I go just pack what do you call it? Caleb and that's Akinola and Yewande. Those are my own bag and baggages. Sure you get. I will just pack them and say, yeah, I they take them to Nigeria. All of you know, say na play. Abi, my they play. Okay. You think say if you grab your children now and you post it on social media and tell people that hey, they want to send me back to Nigeria and I have 2 children here. Everybody help me. Twitter, do your job. Social media, do your work. Don't let them deport me. Baba, if the plan is that 24 hours or 48 hours after that, now Lagos I go they do live video. That 24 hours later, they carry anybody go anywhere. You know that. So instead of me thinking that if they say make they go back to where I come from, I would just carry my 2 kids and I would tell their mother that, well, you want to come or they come. Because I they carry them, they go. Anybody who wants to send me to Nigeria must send my on a joke. Even me say if they make their policy tomorrow and they say make I leave, I can speak 100,000 grammars. I can gather sympathy from all of you. We can even start a petition. We can do all of that. Once they say go, now so me and you, all of us go carry our Nigeria must go back. Now airport will go meet. Say, Mayegu, I thought you are a citizen. I said, me too, I thought say you be British. I'm British, but they said that because I had this criminal record, so they said because of that, they have cancelled my citizenship. What they are doing, Mayegu, what they are doing, we need to fight this. I said, you and who? Abamurita Lala and Loy. You and who fight what? Now who will go fight? Now who go come fight for us? I am saying this to you because there are little things to keep us, to remind us that you see this freedom of being able to possibly do what you have always been dreaming of doing, helping your family, living a normal life. You have all of that where you are right now. But suddenly, is now kind of making you believe that you are being patriotic to Nigeria by defending Tifnumbu APC Egbekegbe as they are destroying Nigeria. Because as they are destroying Nigeria, more and more are finding ways to get out and get away. And where we are, more and more of their citizens are blaming us for the failure of their politicians. Even with your citizenship, with your blue passport, be American passport, one day you would wake up and they will say, may everybody leave. Now then you go understand that that's your blue passport, it get clause. Person will go kind of release the clause. Now that person never gained power yet. Do you understand? Or make I re-explain to you that you are sitting there in America, you are there in London, you are right there in Canada, and you are a champion on social media who is loving Nigeria from abroad, discouraging people in Nigeria from standing up against the criminals who sent you to that Canada, who made you to become a resident of America. One day, somebody is going to say, all of us will acquire citizenship in their country, including our children that we born in their country. They are now going to determine our citizenship by what we have done in the past. That you probably have become a new person, American citizen. You were arrested for credit card fraud some times ago. Oh, you were arrested for parking tickets. Oh, you were arrested, or you are like you slept in jail for 20. All the flimsy, new unnecessary things, they begin to pop them up and say it's on your record. So you want to take my citizenship because of that? say, yeah, you are not the only person. We have the record. So you need to. I'm only saying this because nothing is impossible in the world that we currently live in, where those who are supposed to protect us by being real leaders, people's servants, who could have helped us to earn respect. It is no longer about what we are offering the world anymore. We have Nigerians who are outstanding professionals, contributing greatly to mankind, economies. They are there all over the world. Yet, we still don't earn any kind of respect because the criminals back in Nigeria continue to trade us off cheaply. So how dare you, from your own comfort zone, thinking you are being patriotic to Nigeria by defending the rogues that have been prompting the mass exodus, the biggest and the highest brain drain that Nigeria has ever suffered due to economic failure. Those who have orchestrated that, who are still doing it, how dare you, thinking you are being patriotic from that your comfort zone? Are you preparing at all? Because me, I go begin to negotiate with Agbeke now. If they say make I park, I would want a situation where Agbeke, herself, will be willing to park, and we can go back to Dogbolu, the farm. Because as it is, there is no, what do you call it? There is no sacred anything anymore. This is no longer a situation where you can say it can never happen, Baba. Baba, forget that. We go fight them. Fight who? The person we have to actually fight is ourselves, that have failed to continue to ignore the real issue, the real dangers, the consequences of these real dangers. For nonsense conversation about ethnic this, religious that, social this, and all other classism that a lot of us have invested so much. Meanwhile, we have ignored the main thing. A lot of you feel so comfortable because don't they carry 3 passports. Some of you, they carry 4 passports. I don't even know. It's actually a class thing. All it will take is one single policy, and that your passport go become your souvenir. Souvenir, where you say, this is American passport now. Papa, you be American? I used to be American. What do you mean you used to be American? Once you're an American, you're American for life now. No, some of us, you remember when this also person became the president, I saw them change the rule, Baba, now just one parking ticket. I do, Baba. They just one bag of Igbo then catch me with, and I paid fine and everything is fine. But they just bring this rule. They said because I get a criminal record. Because I have criminal record, they don't want any immigrant who has criminal record. And that is why they just cancel my citizenship. What? Can they do that? Where have you been living? Because it is possible. It is possible. And I want you to always have that at the back of your mind, that as long as we live and we are enjoying this freedom of speech, enjoying these other things that, because let us be honest, I'm not saying everybody that left Nigeria indeed achieved their dreams. But let us be honest with ourselves, okay? More than 90% of people who left Nigeria, okay, actually achieved their dreams. But some blew it, some maintained them. Sure, you understand now? And they have become whatever, you know what I mean? they have become today. So in that your comfort zone, and you don't want to wake up one day that it is no longer yours, Baba, I am begging you, if I have to beg you or plead again, oh, I am begging you to remember that second passport. Because if all of us want to be honest, majority of us today, we now have things we used to kind of dream about. Let us be honest. I don't mind where you live or wherever you are right now. A lot of us today, we now have things we used to dream or pray for. Some of you now have a dual citizenship. Your children now have dual citizenship. You used to pray for that, remember? I mean, you used to dream about that, Abby. Some of you have houses that you have built, businesses. A lot of you have become so prominently important in your families. These were your dreams. A lot of you wanted to see the world, to be able to live a life of a free bird. Today, you have been to God knows how many countries. Some of you wanted to be, acknowledged on your academic successes, business successes, and so many other things you choose in life, and you have achieved them. Some of you today, if they say, Mama Olowo, rich woman, you know you are not rich, but a lot of the things you have today, you used to pray for them. You used to dream about them. So consider them as privilege and privileges that has earned you a very, very big voice that you could really influence and change things. Because you could lose all of them. Yeah. That fancy car. I used to dream about new cars or more. No, well, I used to dream about buying a car. Sure, you get. And then not dream like, everyone's, I want to have a car. And I finally had a car, Then I started fantasizing what it is like to have a brand new car. I still haven't bought a brand new car, but I've got something very close. When I say brand new car, like being the first person, 0 mileage, I still don't know how it feels like, but I have something close to it. But what I have today, a majority of my own little successes, here you get them, my little wins, they used to be my prayer points. So I consider them as the privilege that I shouldn't abuse by thinking that it cannot change no matter how bad or worse it comes to. I don't think like that. And once you don't think like that, and you believe that, what if all of this changes? What if all of this, like, what if you wake up tomorrow and all these privileges you have wherever you are living right now? Americans are the most spoiled people in the world anyway, from my own definition. Maybe not from experience, because Americans will be, come on, stop it. But Americans, I believe, are the most, spoiled people. So all of you in America, God bless you, by the way. Imagine you wake up tomorrow and all of that privileges. I'm not saying they are privileges that you just pick on the road, though. Don't get me wrong. Everybody has a story. In fact, all of you have different scars to show for what you have been able to make of your lives. I'm proud of you. I'm only speaking to your conscience right now to say, look at every sacrifice you paid, everything that you put into what you have now become today, that some are going to see as privilege, including me, because it's privilege. Today is like privilege now. Because there are people who are working, who are more hardworking than you. There are people who are smarter than us, hardworking than us. But Nigerian system is so rigged against them that your colleagues who are doing the same thing you are doing today in America could barely survive. So yeah, it can be a privilege now. Now imagine all of that is taken away. You can no longer go back to that your job, okay? And you have no access to your properties, or you probably have to put them up for sale to a quick sale and all of that, like cut your losses and all that, because the wall is closing in. You are now being treated like somebody who just dropped from the sky and landed in America, somebody who has no record, no nothing, who has no idea of where to start from. Imagine your life for a moment like that. Eh? Imagine what you are sitting down there watching me, possibly in your house, some of you in your car, some of you are watching me right there in your office, in your workplace, the places that actually makes you, keeps your mental health, everything intact, all your dream, aspiration, and everything ongoing like that. Imagine all of that are probably no longer there. And we all have to end up in Nigeria. Eh? Do you think you will still be very proud of Nigeria as a patriotic Nigerian if all of that you're Canadian, American, British, Australian, German, Swedish, Finnish, and all of those privileges that you currently enjoys, gone. And we are all back in Nigeria trying to figure out how much 1,000 naira can help us to stay alive for the day. How can we manage 20,000 naira? Or, yeah, you know, a lot of us give people money, right? Let's see how many people in Nigeria who are every day complaining at as well, right? Because we are comfortable where we are, and some of you are patriotic Nigerians abroad. Now, all of us are there. Let's see if we can now possibly, same way you are giving people money, right? Let's see if some of them will now be able to say, sorry, Jarema Yegun, I missed your call. How is everything? Baba, since I come back to this country, it's not easy. I just thought that maybe you can just do something for me. I'm fee 200,000 naira. Let's see what business you can do with 500,000 naira. Maybe some of you are abroad, Abby, and because you wanted to pretend in your comfort, you wanted to pretend that you love Nigeria and others don't love Nigeria. Okay? People can do business with 20,000 naira. They can start a business with, there are some people who can start a business with 1 million naira from your comfort zone. One day when they take all of that away from us, now, let's see how many of us can build a business with 1 million, with 2 million, with 10,000, with 20,000, trader money, and all of that stuff. So maybe when all of us begin to imagine the world where they want us to go back to where we come from by policies like this, do you think you will still be patriotic Nigerian? You will still be a patriotic Nigerian, or a patriotic Ghanaian, or a patriotic African in your different comfort zone? Would you still be able to tell people to be patient with their criminal leaders? Would you still be able to tell people and yourself that it is not everything we have to tell the world? We should all be praying. Will you still be able to tell people to pray? Because I am asking you all of this. I know I am speaking to some people who have a blocked mind. But you see, when I see actions like this, I always want to remind myself that if I continue to stay aloof, to play ostrich, because it hasn't affected me yet. Make I give you a little breakdown, okay? I could have said it is none of my business what is happening to you in Nigeria. And I could have been famous for just being somebody who is making skits and making you laugh in your sorrow. And I could still pretty much do well by saying it's none of my business. I don't japa already. So why should I bother myself about others who don't care about themselves anyway? Abi? So it is also similar to saying, you see, those who have also jackpot like me, who are on the journey of being played by different systems in different countries that they are going to find themselves. If I now decided that at least me, I no get visa problem, no be say I go dey queue for visa again. All these laws they are making, none of them is my business. If they say people wey dey earn good money, even in their own economy, I am still doing far, 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 far better than more than 60% of the UK population. Shey you understand? I am still in that category of this. Oh, it no concern me. Shey you get? One day, like those who said they came for the socialists. I looked away because I no be socialist. They came for the communists. I look away because I no be communist. They came for the Catholics. Say, well, I am not, thank God I'm not a Catholic. So it's none of my business. They also went for the Pentecostals. They say, oh, good enough, I'm not a Pentecostal. So then they went for the Jews. They say, oh, fair enough, I'm not a Jew. Now the Jew problem. Then they went for the Muslims. I say, oh, I'm not a Muslim. I don't even like Islam and all of that. May them kill themselves, may them kill them. It's none of my business. Baba, then they came for you. Guess what? There was nobody to speak for you because there will be nobody to speak for you. Remember, when they were coming for everyone, since he no touch you, since you are fine, today people are crying, people are hungry, people are dying, people are skipping their medication because of the economic problems. They are even bombing people to death when they are celebrating the birthday of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. People are being kidnapped. Every day you are hearing all of this because you are in a safe zone. Your opinion is always, it's none of my business. That's their own business. How is that one my own business? Oh, Baba, let them face themselves. They came for the revolution now. You looked away because you don't like Showore. They came for the IPOB. You cheer them on because you don't like Nnamdi Kanu. They came for the Shiites. You cheer them on. They deserved to be killed because you don't like El Zazaki. They came for the Yoruba Nation campaigners. You said they must be killed simply because you don't like Sunday Igboho. They ganged up and killed young people. I'm talking about the young Nigerians. But because you have a phobia for the hashtag #EndSARSNow, it sounded like a resurrection. It sounded like a revolution. It is sponsored by the people who don't like the government. See? So because of that, kill them. Since you are not one of the EndSARS, Abi, then one day they will come for you. you would want people to say, hey, leave him alone. But guess what? The people that would have said, leave him, leave her, leave him, leave her, you looked away when they came for them. And that's what I mean, talk about on this Mayegun's Diary Political. Do not wait until you become that victim. Because, hey, when you actually become the victim, Baba, now only grace of God go make you live to tell this story. A lot of people here will tell you their stories about Nigeria. Near-death experiences. Because they are opportune to live to tell this story. The saddest thing in life is for you to never believe any of this. Not because they are not real, but because you have chosen never to believe them. You know, the saddest one is that when the reality finally sets in, at the last minute, last hour, before you will give up the ghost, everything will begin to play back. You'll be looking at your life flashing just before you. And you will wish you could probably just change everything that moment. You would wish you could go back and redo things, undone some things. But it is too late. It will be too late. Now that one, I dey imagine, like somebody who continued to say they are proud Nigerian, and they ended up in the hand of a terrorist. And after 2-3 months, they now realized that no matter how much you love what do you call it? Well, anyway, don't let me say that because something can trigger people small time now. And they will begin to say, Mayego, for every good thing you have said, you just ruined everything when you started making that joke about religion. I don't like the way you make jokes, so I don't want to trigger you because I really want you to think and think deeper, especially those of you who don't consider what we currently have outside Nigeria right now as a temporary privilege that can be taken away from us. So I don't want to trigger you, okay? And quite quickly offend you and say, I mean, every good thing you've said now, you just ruined it. Why would you go and talk? Why would you say that? And you know, say me, I know they care how you feel. Anything that comes to my mouth, I say them. But you see, this one is very different. This one is like you have to sit down and think about yourself and say, listen, what if everything is taken away from us? What if you can no longer drive that your car? What if you can no longer access that your credit card? What if you can no longer access that your money in your bank? What if something is put on that simply because you have been flagged? And you got there, you are now told that you can no longer take all of them. You can no longer do that anymore. You can no longer access everything that give you privileges now. In fact, your days are numbered. And then you have to live like other people that are currently going through that now. So that's what I'm trying to paint out. I don't want to offend you. Usually I offend people for a living. I actually trigger people to make you angry and all of that stuff. But I don't want to trigger you. I want to get you thinking. That you see all these laws you are hearing here and there. A lot of us believe that we are now beyond that. We are not beyond anything. And the way the world is going, I was watching this video. Charm says I should take calls. You know, if I don't take calls, the moment we get to 2 hours, I am likely not going to take calls. But it seems that it's not really, it hasn't frozen since. Or is it just me that just continue to talk? Tell me, have you noticed this freezing again? Like, I know we're probably still experiencing the lagging in the voice and the audio, right? But tell me, it's still good, manageable, right? So I think let's just continue the TED Talk, okay? The TED Talk that has made some of you, wherever you are right now, thinking like, I am not saying it is going to happen. I'm not here to scare you, okay? I'm actually trying to get all of us to begin to take this advocacy, this enlightenment, this mobilization to get everybody on board, to make us understand the real danger lurking around us, to stop us from making jokes about it, okay? To make us see that even if we live long enough not to experience what I'm saying now, our children, they are going to exist in a world that is not guaranteed or certain, because we are going to be living on the fear and wishes of other people. Right now in the UK, that the same people who issued excess visas, who issued visas to people, they now call the visa excess, net migration, okay? And suddenly, that has now created fear. The British themselves, the British people in this country, there is a segment of them that are now living in fear of what immigration is going to do to them. So we are building the future. All of us, we're there abroad, though. We are building the future of our own children, on the future fear of the children of the owners of these countries of today. Because you see, these people who are making all these laws and policies, their own children, they are going to live in the world where they will be afraid of immigrants. The contribution of immigrants will be acknowledged, but it's never really going to be valued that way. Okay? Yeah, fine. Okay, yeah, you are contributing, you are working this or that, but you are also using us to help your family, your poor family back in your country. So every contribution we are making in this country, there will always be a generation that's going to continue to say, listen, you are not doing us any favor. And if you think you are contributing to this country, then go back to your country and contribute in your country. Stop saying you are contributing, Go back to your country and do that. Why can't you go and contribute the same thing in your country? This is already the systemic fear that the generations that are here and the generations yet unborn, this is the world they are going to live in. So when we are talking about the calamities, the criminals who pushed us to this stage, there's no point in joking about it simply because you are comfortable. It's probably not affecting you per se. That's the point I'm making. Do you understand now? Because one day, that privilege may be gone. We need people. We need ourselves, including those who are in Nigeria, to understand that even if you are planning to Japa, you are also coming into the same system that is going to blame you for the failure of their own politicians. Your children are going to hear that. My children are going to hear that. Whenever they are talking about immigration, my children are going to begin to feel like, oh, they are talking about us. So for us to know that, before we get to that stage where they will come, they pack all of us inside cargo plane, they will come go, they dump us in Rwanda, in Kigali, in Malawi, in Warri. It is ideal for all of us to stop fooling around and being pretentious, patriotic Nigerians from abroad. Because you see this shit, even if you run away from Nigeria, you are running into a bigger shit in all these places. 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years, eventually, all of us will run out of Nigeria. We are either going to voluntarily Japada to Nigeria. And you see that thing we are running away from now, that some of us are still playing this tribal ethnic politics with. Despite our exposure, one day we are going to Japada into it. Imagine after 30 years of living Nigeria. I actually feel sorry for some of you who are already citizens of some of these countries who left Nigeria 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Imagine what it's going to be like if you have to return back to Nigeria 40 years after, and things have actually gone so worse than when you left 40 years ago. And to those of you who are already jackpotting now, yours may be, before you jackpot, it may be 5 years, it may be 10, it may be 15, it may be 20. With all these far-right politicians and political parties taking power all over the world, it may even be quicker than that. So where are we going to jackpot that to? We are going to jackpot that to your lovely Nigeria, the Nigeria that you... So I'm going to ask you now, with the condition back there, would you still be able to tell yourself that Rome was not built in a day? After your experience living in all these countries, and you ended up having to jackpot that to Nigeria to begin to ask for your own urgent 2K, would you be able to tell yourselves then, that all the killings don't really matter, all the stealings, all the lootings, all the human rights abuses, all of the abuse of their own rule of law, the abuse of their own constitution, all of the excuses you are giving to them, because you can easily, comfortably type all of that wherever you are right now, would you still be able to tell yourself the same thing? Because as it is right now, all of una, Ronukus, the Ronu Nazis, who always turn everything to tribal, ethnic, and the rest of that. And you are living in countries where the same you are shouting racism. They are so racist. They don't like black people. They don't like black people. With all of una useless jagbajantis called gutter mouth too. Una be the same people where they shout racism everywhere. Where Oyibo no like black, Oyibo no like, but Olori Brukwara, you are Nazis, Ronu Nazis. Are you going to be able to go back to the shit hole and begin to tell yourself that Rome was not built in a day? I just thought I should tell you I was going to take calls, but with all of the technical glitches we suffered from the start, I am going to beg your pardon. I beg your pardon, but in a good way, okay? Like, pardon me. Pardon. I'm going to say I'm so grateful to all of you who stayed back and didn't leave, despite all the glitches. I promise you, it won't be like that next time, okay? So I will see you some other time. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. And if my message, for any reason, resonates with you, and you believe that you could make a difference, your difference is going to be greatly appreciated. Your influence, your privilege right now is to join hands with others. Listen to me. If you want to know those who hate Nigeria, they are those who are spending every day and night to further put Nigerians in perpetual misery, that are forcing a lot of you to make decision of leaving the country. They are those who have brought shame and embarrassment and disgrace to Nigeria. Okay? So not you trying to blame other people who are trying to fight for their lives. Do you get that? Now we can start from there. Okay? If this makes any sort of impression on you, you can still like my broadcast, subscribe to it, and see me here next time, same place. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun Diary Nayibi #1.
àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún Diary Náídì nọ́mbà wán.
bó bá ṣe eré àní Máyégún máa wí.
Máyégún Diary Náídì nọ́mbà wán.
ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún Diary Náídì nọ́mbà wán.
Máyégún Diary politico.
Máyégún Diary Náídì nọ́mbà wán.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún.
Máyégún Diary Náídì nọ́mbà wán.
ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Máyégún Diary Náídì nọ́mbà wán.
àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ dódódódó.
Máyégún Diary Náídì nọ́mbà wán.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
lórí Facebook.
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
kí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. àyè
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
ha kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. ẹni bá ti lè.